Plenty more basketball for the Gold Coast Blaze to get back on track.
Yeah, the momentum certainly switched, but you'd be pretty disappointed if the Gold Coast lost this game from here with the talent they've got on the court, the lack of organisation the Melbourne Tigers really have to have with their new point guard in the league. But he certainly made a good debut.
Lucas Walker on a pretty average pass from Myron Allen. And that's probably a little bit of that lack of organization. It just looked like a busted play from the very beginning.
But you know, in that third quarter, Steve, they had a couple of, the Tigers that is, had a couple of missed opportunities in transition. That missed layup in the third quarter, you know, that could be anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7 points. That's a big difference in the game.
Huge difference. Worthington.
What?
Wow.
You wouldn't be used to seeing that, Derek.
Wow.
That certainly wouldn't wipe that in the NBA, but I like that play from the Gold Coast players. Yeah. There was 2 or 3 passes. They got Worthington off a dice to the basket, and that's exactly where he wants to be able to get the ball.
Cam Tregas off the backcourt. I thought for a second he was going to turn that down. Man.
What?
Yeah. For a second. Cam Tregas makes it an 8-point game. Petrie to Gibson. Gibson just floats to the lane, through the lane for a layup.
And it was only a slight hesitation, but it was enough of a hesitation to be able to keep the weak side defense at bay over there by enough time. And it's a good heads-up play from Gibson. It's the 3rd time he's done it tonight.
And this is a time of the game where he needs to assert himself. He's the, he's the real lead guard out there, and he can make a difference. All the Blaze need is a good 4 or 5 minutes. They can put this thing away.
Dillon to Walker. Good foul by Adam Gibson, because that was a thunderous 2-hand jam. He has got some athleticism.
To the free throw line for 2 shots on the 24 Lucas Walker. Okay, we now do the full, get 100% ring. Let's do it again.
Walker at the line.
Okay, let's get the 50% break. Let's go, Homicide.
Some of the numbers for the game as Lucas Walker knocks him down. Blaze with 30 rebounds. Tigers 19. Assists are even at 11. In turnovers, relatively low, especially for the Tigers. Only 6, considering they've got new personnel. Petrie gets it to Worthington. Good closeout by Dorsey. Shot clock down to 5. Petrie's off the mark. Allen with a super rebound.
Nice spring.
Stayed in bounds.
Yeah, it was a good leap, but it was good timing too. Particularly having to go over Hudson. Had a massive size advantage because I went and stood pretty close to Allen. I don't have my orthotics in, and I've definitely got him covered. So that just means he's not tall.
Walker back to Dillon. Dillon gets all the way to the rim, but is discouraged by a horde of Blaze defenders. Hudson can't handle it. It was a good idea by Adam Gibson. The second cutter coming through after the first one cleared out the defense.
A little spatula-itis there, Hammer.
Just a bad pass. Hit him in the hands.
You know you can bend your fingers when you're trying to catch sometimes.
Stick them in some hot water.
That's what happens. But that's what happens when you pass to a 5-man on the run
and throw a bounce pass. It's always a bad thing to do is to change the level of the big man's viewing plane. Don't make him look down, then have to look back up to catch the ball. Keep it all on one level for him.
Well, all the big men out there watching this game,
getting crushed.
They're thinking we need some big opinions in our commentary team. But Lucas Walker, watch this. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was ugly every second. Turnover for the Tigers. They haven't had many, like I mentioned. That's only their 7th.
This is the set I like here, Hammer.
Petrie, back to Gibson. Gibson, pull-up jumper going right. Wow. Yeah, that was a shot that he couldn't hit 2 years ago. Adam Gibson put in a blinder.
I agree, Derek. At least they've got some movement, some kicks, and then they've had to do something like that. In past games, they've really just stuck to a middle pick and roll, and everyone's been way too stagnant, as we see Worthington do what he does best. He bullied it.
Excellent, outstanding play on the run, and that's very tough to do. He had to get that ball on the fly and convert. But the thing I like is he anticipated the contact and got the ball up on the rim.
He sure did. Right here, he knows he's got him on his hip. Create a little bit of space. Never looked like missing that one. Sees the opportunity for the three-point play. Blaze up by 12, 72-60.
If you're a car maker, the better the quality of your steel, the stronger the car. So we made this, a state-of-the-art steel plant. Sealed so no contaminants can get in, so what comes out is pure, premium-grade steel, making cars that are stronger, safer, and longer-lasting. That's new thinking. That's Hyundai.
Gold Coast Blaze up by 12 here.
Like one of those cheerleaders had hands like Hudson.
Yeah, she did drop the ball.
Let's go! Here we go! Oh, no!
Go there, deny you the ball. You come and get it. Come back and get it off him and go through. I want you to play the two. Let him play the point. Go, we go.
Huge, boys.
Three stops. Three stops.
International superstar performance DJ
Dorsey. They need something out of him and Shergan, no doubt about that. Allen supplying the assist that haven't happened. But Adam Gibson, you know, we talk about his 18 points, but he's got 7 rebounds to go with that. Well, he was player of the week and almost doubled it up and got player of the week 2 weeks in a row. And these are the type of performances that he's had. 24 points, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He's been super active and had a great line.
And I was talking to Joey right before the game, and Joey was hoping tonight that Gibbo would come out and put together this type of performance and then continue it, like you said, Steve. I mean, you know, I'm looking around the league. I've watched a few games, and I might be a little bit biased because I know Gibbo, but I think really he should be a dominant guard night in, night out in this competition. Tough shot there.
Well, the other thing that shows his maturity is he's got 68 assists and only 33 turnovers so far this year. That wasn't something that he was doing a couple of years ago as well.
And I think that's kind of a rare bird, especially at the guard position. Somebody that comes out and brings it every night. You're not going to shoot the ball well every single night, but you'd be a major factor in the game. And I mean, Shane did it. Andrew Gaze did it, but not that many. And Shane, you can correct me on this one, but not that many Australian guards. Brett Maher did it, but not that many Australian guards bring it every single night. I think it's a complacency thing. Shergan. Dorsey right back to Burston. He'll lay it up and gets the roll.
A very good read from Dorsey. I thought initially he had made the wrong decision there, Hammer, but I think he saw the weak side help was a bit out of position, and the big fella Burston was able to capitalize.
He's got good mobility, Burston, for his size, but I think right now, if the Tigers are going to have a chance to be able to get back in this game, it's going to happen one of 2 ways, and that's either in transition or they're going to have to be able to get Tregar into the game. If they go to Tregar inside, we know he can score, but he'll also demand a lot of help, and he'll get other people open shots. Particularly, seem Allen doesn't know the sets, but to give him something to be able to attack and go to.
And Matt Burston, that's what Hunt's saying. He's like, it's the 3rd one. He bumped him twice, got away with it. I don't know how guys can't sense that. You're standing right in front of the ref. You get away with 2 fouls. Back off.
Yeah. Particularly when it's your 4th team foul with 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Because now they have to be able to release some of that pressure or they're sending the Gold Coast to the line.
Gibson.
Oh.
To Petrie. That comes up short. That ball's tipped by Hudson. By Dorsey, and Hudson lets it go out of bounds.
Always play a live ball, Steve. Always play a live ball.
I don't think he was sure that was off the Tigers. I sure wasn't. Petrie. Good hands by Burston. Petrie can't believe he's not going to the line.
Another good pass by Gibbo. I would have liked to have seen him shoot that shot where his feet was set. 8 points of difference. He's 8 from 12 from the field. He's their best player right now, and he had the chance to be able to take that lead to 11.
Yep, good point. And he's 8 for 12. That's your point right there. He's that hot.
Yeah. Better off to go 12 for 20 from here as opposed to 8 for 13. There you go. Line one up.
That rims out. And he shouldn't be hesitant at all on his next one. That one just squirted out. Oh, pull-up jump shot is off the mark. Worthington tries to keep it inbounds. It'll stay the Gold Coast Blaze ball.
When you talk about Steve, point guards really coming night in, night out and being able to put points on the board and create assists and continually do that, I think it's a mindset. And that right there was a mindset from Gibbo, not taking that shot and having the belief that that's what he has to do as part of his role as the best player on the team. And being able to take it, that if he misses that shot, well, that's part of it as well. Being able to then line up again and come down the next time, and when you're open, you take your shots.
Well, here comes the test the next time, Hammer. As you said, he's missed. Now you got to come back and not even worry about that.
That's right. I'm glad you touched upon that. I thought you were ignoring me.
Wouldn't dare, mate. Wouldn't dare.
Gibson, there he didn't hesitate on that one. Draws a blank on that baseline jump shot. Nice pass to Matt Burston. He's fouled. And again, dribble penetration by Allen, the new import for the Melbourne Tigers.
I like what Allen's doing, getting in there. He's got a little bit of boogie in him. And that's a good improvisational play right there. He'd gotten himself in a bit of trouble, but he was able to bail himself out with a nice little dump back pass to Burston. The big fella go to the line and shoot, too.
And I think the only reason why he got out of trouble there is he had the court awareness of knowing where all the players were. Burston running that line in the trail, without having the vision and the recognition of being able to do that, he wouldn't have found him.
Because there's nothing worse than getting up there and being,
And you got to fire one over the top of your head as Matt Burston knocks them both down. And gentlemen, we got ourselves a ball game on the Gold Coast once again. Tigers were down by as many as 20, and they've inched their way back into it. Pass thrown eventually gets to Jason Kadee. I don't think he was the intended receiver.
Oh, I know he wasn't.
Over the top. Allen does a good job of getting his vertical up there and getting a piece of that.
He did a good job. He was out of position, so he fronted him. Much more difficult pass to be able to get over the top.
Cherga can't get the 8-footer to go. Just 5 of 15 from the field. De Leon is fouled.
I was about to say that the Gold Coast need to be able to find ways to get to the line as well. They're in the bonus, and that's what the good players do. They recognize now that you can't just settle for jump shots. You have to be able to find a way to be able to put pressure on the defense and get the percentage play from the line.
So true. And right now, you know, that's where the guards come into play. You've got to find a way to draw fouls and put pressure on the defense. Get away from the jump shots. Let's see if we can get some free throws.
And timeout on the floor, just over 4.5 to go to the end of regulation here in the fourth. And Joey Wright is talking to his assistants right now.
I think sometimes, too, just to keep going on with that point about being able to get to the line, is it's not just about the penetration, but if you run an on-ball screen, you're not always trying to avoid the traffic and the contact. Sometimes you want to make that, put pressure on the referees to make a call.
Kick it here. Horry, your look is roll out here for Tommy and Wortho diving. All right, we're going to make the guy in this corner guard both of these guys, okay? So you read this. You're going to either have that or that, okay? That or that. You're going to enter it to my side then. Hey, let's get a stop down here next time down, okay? Stop next time down. You take the two guard, you pick up the point, okay? You drop back. Oh, you got Dorsey on this, don't you? Yeah, drop back, drop back. Hey, 1, 2, 3.
I wish Joey would have been that friendly in huddles when I was playing for him. That was... I don't ever recall any type of gentlemanly manner like that.
I think with the up and down play of his team, he's had to kind of mellow. He was just going to drop dead of a stroke. He was getting that upset every time his team went up and down.
See, I think the Gold Coast could go with 3 smalls right now. Like having Adam Gibson off the court, I think hurts their team. In these 40-minute games, I think subbing sometimes becomes too much. And if you look at the opposition, Gibson can really match up with Ron Dorsey. And then they've virtually got 2 point guards in as well with the Melbourne Tigers.
Bags them both and give the Gold Coast Blaze a little bit more breathing space. It's back up to 8. Tigers just have not been able to inch that little bit closer. Nice pass again by Allen to Matt Burston.
He's a good player, Steve.
Yeah, he can play. And he's found a target that can finish on some layups.
He'll be happy with that. 8 assists. He could have had a dozen by now.
This is a guy that doesn't even know their offense. He's been able to get into the paint, and you can just tell when a guy knows where everybody is. Yep.
Yeah, he's a veteran. This is a good pickup, particularly at late notice. It's not often that you come back from the press conference for Trevor Gleeson and you find out that your American point guard is gone.
Yeah, apparently he didn't even make it into the locker room. He got the news secondhand and said, wait, we look a little light here. What happened?
Well, really? They've packed his bag and left it out front of the change room? Times are tough nowadays. Wow.
Well, good pickup for the Wollongong Hawks if it's true, Steve.
Yeah. And this just goes to show you, I mean, late pickup like that, good recommendation. Ralph Kirsten looking for some help. That's never reassuring when he makes a call and then looks around to see if it was the right one.
Yeah, he's had a couple of those tonight, maybe 4.
Allen certainly didn't think it was the right call.
Garlick. Tough shot. Stephen Hoare in the right place at the right time. He's made a career out of it.
See, the Blaze got bailed out then. They came down, they ran one pass, isolated Tommy Garlick, and got a shot up and got bailed out from an offensive rebound.
Leads back up to 10. Terrible pass by Dylan. Cam Tragah gets it up and short. 3:24 to go. The Blaze have come up with all the answers. That was a very ugly possession for the Tigers. Timeout on the floor to the Melbourne Tigers, who are finding themselves down by 10 with 3.5 to go to the end of regulation. For the Gold Coast Blaze. I've mentioned that they've come up with the answers all night. And what do you guys think? Has it just been the lack of the Melbourne Tigers or the execution of the Blaze?
Well, I think part of it being Allen being new and not being able to go something, you know, not being able to really go to a bread and butter type set that maybe they're used to because he's just not quite familiar with the system yet. And then just some simple things like turnovers in transition, drop passes. But, you know, if I'm the coach of the Tigers, I'm not too disappointed about what I've seen tonight. I think there's an upside to it, Hammer.
Oh, no doubt. He's going to be a great player for them, Allen. But you look at Cameron Tragah, he's only 5 of 16 tonight. Normally he shoots 57%. He's had some really good looks in this last quarter. Hasn't had his normal touch. And had he made those shots, it would have changed the whole complexion of this game.
On a psychological note here, Hammer, and just being a point guard, how would you have handled, what would you say to Garlick after that last possession? Where it's probably not his role there to make a, you know, to try and make that type of play at this stage of the game. How would you have handled it?
Well, to me, they needed to run a different play. It was De Leon shouldn't have come down and made one pass to him. He should have run a set that would have got it through hands and got it to the best player on the court to get a higher percentage shot.
And Matt Burston goes to the line to try and get off the double-digit lead of the Gold Coast Blaze. Plenty of time left, no doubt about that.
Burston's always been a good free throw shooter. I always expected him to be 10% better than what he actually is, though. Year after year, I always expect him.
It was injury, though, D.
Yeah.
He just got smashed with injury. He's never really had any momentum at any stage throughout his career. And, you know, I played a couple of seasons with him and coached him, and he's a very good teammate and very talented player. And I think he would have been far more than 10% better every year had he been healthy.
He's got great hands, no doubt about that. I remember he first burst into the scene. He was under the tutelage of...
Really?
Yeah.
Burst on the scene?
Burst. Oh, man. Boy, I'm clever and don't even know it. But he's just running the floor and picking up those, picking up those Perth Wildcats, Ricky Gray's passes, and just his man would leave him. He'd roll to the hoop. He was 36, 32. And Luke Longley was giving him some tips on how to play off of the hip of a superstar.
Yeah, Rick made a lot of people look good over the years.
WA man himself before he went to Kansas as a junior, then he went to Metro State, and then broke into the league with the Sydney Kings.
Dragons, Tigers.
Dorsey with a step back three. And the lead is 9. Tigers just not going away, but they need some stops on this end of the floor. De Leon finds Kadee. Worthington, extra pass by Kadee. He got rid of it in a hurry, didn't he?
Hasn't looked as confident with his shot tonight, Jason Kadee, as he draws a charge. Big defensive play after getting an assist, finding Worthing at the other end, but he really does need, it was a good pass, but at stages he needs to be able to get his feet set, have the confidence to be able to knock down that shot too.
Exactly, because you can't rely on a player of Mark Worthington's caliber to be open in that situation all the time. At some point, James Kadee is going to have to step up and make that shot.
De Leon splits the D. His floater is no good. It just rims out.
Well, you can see what the Blaze are trying to do right now. They're getting Cam Tragar in the on-ball screen, making him defend and making him make some decisions. And you can see where his weakness is there. He's just not as confident on defending that on-ball, Steve. And he kind of got himself in the mixer there.
And teams need to, not so much just Cam Tragar, but if there's a big that has trouble showing, just go to the well.
His biggest problem is he just shows on the wrong angle.
Yeah.
So as a point guard, when you're showing and his feet are wrong, it's so much easier to be able to split or to be able to take it higher.
Yeah, that's the whole key, Hammer, is the angle is wrong. And you know what it's like when some big guys can come out there and really defend that thing well and get wide and at the right angle. It makes it so tough to decide what to do. A lot of times you just got to back it out and move it on.
And the best guys I ever played with and against were Tony Ronaldson and Mark Bradkey, both very, very good on-ball pick-and-roll defenders.
Yeah, those guys are 10 out of 10. No doubt.
Blaze come up with the strip. Just starting to get this game out of reach. De Leon wants the ball screen. Little pick and pop, that's straight, and that's good. Anthony Petrie trying to put this thing out of reach. Still got a little bit of game left, but the Blaze have had all the answers. Tragar. Nice extra pass to Liam Rush as a shot gloved by Petrie. Jason Kadee will slow it down to Adam Gibson. Gibson. And the score. We saw that Daniel Dillon didn't have vision of him. That nice hesitation dribble again just froze the weak side defense. Goes right into the body.
He's really been able to add that to his arsenal, Adam Gibson.
And you can tell where his vision was. As a ball handler right there, Hammer, you know very well. You're not looking at the guy that's guarding you. You're looking at the rim, seeing where the weak side guy is. And as soon as he saw the back of the defender's head, he knows to attack it. He had the guy on his hip. Now he's at the line with the and one opportunity.
And it's the biggest thing you're trying to teach juniors is that you're actually trying to work out where they are on the weak side and where the gaps are past your man. So you're setting your man up so you can go in the direction that you want.
Exactly.
To be able to get where you want, and you're proactive.
Because you're not worried about beating your man. I know I wasn't. Because I thought I could beat my man. It was just a matter of whether he had help or not. That's going to decide what your next play is.
Well, at this level, no doubt about that. At the junior level, maybe they ought to be worried about learning how to beat their man first. Little loose handle there. Good hustle by both teams after Allen lost the handle trying to get through a small gap, and a crowd of players alternating possessions goes to the Blaze.
Well, I don't think Trevor Gleason's going to be disheartened with this effort from this Melbourne Tigers team. I mean, his expectations coming to this game, considering the hand that he was dealt, probably wouldn't have been that high.
No, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but you know, given the turmoil that's occurred over the past 5 or 6 days, I agree with you, Shane. This isn't a bad result. True, the lead's 16 now, but if you look at patches of this game, it was quite competitive. You've got to go back now. You know what, you've seen your guy play. You know what you're dealing with. Now let's redraft what we can do and try and come up with a scheme that's going to get us successful for the balance of the season.
And I think if you're the Gold Coast Blaze, Joey Wright's going to be happy that he's been able to put 2 wins together. This is a game that they had to win, a game they were expected to win, and the game that they have been able to get it done. And finish in the last quarter when Melbourne did make a run at them and get it back to about 6 points or so. Now they have to be able to get their run going towards that top 4 because they haven't had any momentum throughout the whole season.
I think he's got to like the play of Adam Gibson, too. You know, he's needed him to step up. He's needed a leader. He needs a guy to come out and do what he's done over these patches of games, and I think he'd be very happy with that, too.
I think the other thing is when somebody stands up like Adam Gibson has over the last month, the other players want to see that as well because it establishes a leader within that team and everybody else can settle into their roles.
Yep. The hierarchy, Hammer. Sets up the hierarchy tree.
And especially with James Harvey out of the team, he was their natural leader in a lot of ways. He was out, it was really left open, and I don't think De Leon was ever going to be that leader that they may have hoped for.
Dorsey gets it into Turgan.
Ooh, wow, that looked clean.
Stephen Orr must have had an arm wrapped around him or something. And he was hanging on. That's the call. We'll get another look. That looked clean. By the time we got to it.
That was called by someone who's never had to defend anyone in the post.
Or maybe period.
Guys just got the blues tonight.
No, the referees have done a great job. One of my friends said I was too hard on them last week.
Allen, it's all the way to the rim.
He can get to the rack.
And make no mistake about that.
Kadee has got some jets of his own. Gets it to Gibson. Good result for the Blaze. They're trying to finish this one off. Adam Gibson with 20 points tonight. Make that 22. Gibbo with another nice pull-up. Really mixed it up tonight with his penetration and his jumper. Allen again, just letting you know, just in case that he can get those and he can finish. And the Blaze will run out the clock as some of their fans get to their feet. These are the Gold Coast Blaze players and the team that they have been